Hey guys, welcome back to the Run with Jay channel where we talk about running, fitness, and lifestyle tips. So today's video we're going to be talking about why I switched over from the Apple iWatch 4 series to the Garmin Forerunner 245 Music. So this will be a comparison video between the two watches. So I know a lot of people have questions on whether a Garmin or an Apple Watch is better for running. So hopefully today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my experiences using both watches and help you make that decision a lot easier. So let's go. So the 4 series Apple Watch that I had 4G and LTE capability compared to the Forerunner 245 which doesn't, which has only Wi-Fi. So just keep that in mind as you're watching this video, and this could be interesting for people that are thinking about getting rid of that data plan or switching off from a 4G LTE watch to just a regular Wi-Fi smartwatch. So in this video I'll be using the Apple Series 4 as comparison to the Garmin, although there is a new Series 5 that's been released. They're both very similar. The only difference is that now it has 32 gigabytes of storage and an always on display. So for both Wi-Fi watches, their Bluetooth range is minimum 30 feet, although the Apple one has a little bit longer range. They're saying it's about 30 to 50, while the Garmin, they're saying it's about 33 feet. So let's start out with the price. So for the 4 series, the Wi-Fi version starts out at $399, and then you have the 4G and LTE version going out at $499. And then also if you want the stainless steel band, you can get that, and with the 4G LTE version, that'll run you about $699 before tax, which is what I had. So the Garmin Forerunner 245 has 2 versions, one with and without music. So the one without music costs $299 to start, and $350 is the cost for the one with music. So it's a lot simpler. So obviously besides the price, we have to talk about the display and the screen. See, the Garmin watch isn't touchscreen, so you'll need to be using the buttons that come with the watch. So for people who like touchscreen, that might not be for you. I personally like touchscreen as well, but I didn't know that I would like having a button again on my watch. So for the Apple Watch, you have choices of 40, 42, 44 millimeter for screen size, and the Garmin 245 Forerunner, you only are limited to 42 millimeter screen. So you have choices there compared to the Garmin. The display on the Apple is just beautiful. For anybody that's seen a Apple Watch, it's just super smooth. The pictures and the graphics look great. I mean, Garmin, don't get me wrong, looks great as well. It just doesn't have that oomph that gives the Apple Watch that beautiful and bright OLED display compared to the Garmin watch, where it has only about 240 by 240 pixels with a 1.2 inch display. So hands down, the display goes to the Apple. If you want to look at things that look pretty and looks nice, the Apple Watch definitely wins. But if you want a good looking screen watch that's good for running and we're able to see everything without any problems, then the Garmin watch is for you. Personally, I love the Apple Watch display screen, but I didn't know that after using the Garmin, that I'll be okay with just seeing numbers and digits pretty much all the time on my wrist. So another major difference between the two watches is obviously the apps that are available. So if you ever had an iPhone or a watch, you know how many apps there is in the App Store. So it's unmatched compared to any, maybe besides Google Play. But tons of apps available for the Apple iWatch. Almost pretty much any app you can get on the phone, you can really get on the watch as well. Now the Garmin has their Connect IQ store as well for apps. However, there just hasn't been many apps that are available for that yet. You have very limited choices in terms of apps. A lot of it has to do with fitness. So if you're really looking for apps and to be able to customize, the Garmin watch may not be for you. So if you want apps, go for Apple. If you want just sports related apps, or you don't really care about apps on your running watch, then Garmin, it would be for you. So the battery life, hands down, goes to the Garmin. Without being used, the battery fully charged can last up to 7 days, which is crazy. If you have the GPS on all day, it can last about 24 hours, Garmin says. Obviously, if you're using music and GPS at the same time, the battery will drain down a lot quicker. But one thing to note, charging the Garmin battery is a lot faster than charging the Apple Watch. I can go from like 50% to 100 on the Garmin watch in less than half an hour. It charges super fast and you can plug it to any USB. For the Apple Watch, the Apple claims it lasts up to 18 hours for battery life. Obviously, you know, for people with Apple Watch, they have to use it for emails and all sorts of things like music, and obviously that'll drain the battery down a lot quicker. So battery life, hands down, Garmin wins. I just don't, one thing about the Garmin watch battery, I don't like how it connects to the back of the watch. It's kind of annoying. When you plug it in, it's kind of doesn't stand properly. So, you know, you can get either one of those charging pods on Amazon for like really cheap, or you know, just have to charge it face down. So that's one thing I didn't like. And the Apple Watch comes obviously with the charging dock, which the watch sits on perfectly. So the Apple Watch uses the iTunes app, which works with Windows or Mac or any computer, and it's great because you can search for your music, download it, and put it on your watch immediately. On the other hand, you have Garmin that doesn't have that. You have to import your music from iTunes or anywhere you're getting it from, and then you have to put it in the Garmin Express app and then transfer it to your watch. So it's a little bit extra step, but the functionality of Garmin Express is pretty simple. It'll actually pull playlists you've already made in iTunes and put it on your watch. But I mean, I like the features of the iTunes app a little bit more. You're able to search for music, you know, listen to it, and you know, just sync it automatically with your Apple Watch. Now, while listening to the music on the watch while running, it's pretty simple with the Apple Watch. You know, you use your touch screen, you can swipe and change the tracks or change the volume with the dial, which is nice. On the Garmin, it's a little bit harder. You would have to, you know, press the button or hold it for a few seconds before you get into the music widget, and then you have to press a couple of buttons more to change the volume or, you know, change the track. So I don't really like the music functionality in the Garmin. It's a little bit annoying to adjust music while you're out in the run, and sometimes you can cancel out your run by accident, which is I've done a few times, which is not fun. So another thing that's important to runners are the app compatibility. So, you know, a lot of athletes use an app called Strava that is automatically synced in with the Garmin. So if you have the watch, you go into the app and you sync the Garmin to it, or you go to Strava and sync your watch to it. It automatically uploads your run as soon as you finish, so that works flawlessly. For the Apple Watch, there's apps that work as well, like the Nike Run Club, which works great with Apple Watches, but for like if you want to connect to Strava, there's just a little bit more work you have to do to get it up there. You might have to use a third-party apps to get some of your runs, as the Apple Watch doesn't automatically sync to apps like Strava compared to the Garmin. So for running app capability or compatibility, I would definitely go with the Garmin. It's much easier in terms of, you know, running, finishing a run, and boom, it'll be up in your app in no time. So with headphones, I use the Apple AirPods for both of the watches. It connects flawlessly to the Apple Watch because obviously they're both made by Apple. As soon as you put them on, they work. With the Garmin, it takes a little bit more work. You're gonna have to go into your music playlist and actually select your music first, and then it'll choose to connect to the AirPods. So it's a little bit more work, but you know, the quality is still the same. Haven't had any issues with range or, you know, it's skipping or anything like that. So these watches should be compatible with most of the headphones today in the market, so you shouldn't have any issues with finding the headphone that would work. If you're a person that likes to have different straps, the Apple Watch probably is definitely for you. If that's very important to you. I know a lot of people like to change up their straps depending on what they want to do. So if you want to go out for a nice fancy dinner, you want to put on a nicer strap, or if you're going out running, you can put on a rubber strap. So with strap choices, Apple Watch wins hands down compared to the Garmin. Garmin watch straps alternatives are available online, but they're mostly just that rubber silicone straps. So the watch look itself, if you're going for a more sophisticated look, the Apple Watch obviously looks a little bit better in my opinion. So, you know, you can obviously dress it for different occasions compared to the Garmin watch, which looks, to me like an old Casio stopwatch back in the days. So I mean, if you get different colorways, they could look nice as well, but in terms of looks and straps, Apple Watch definitely wins in terms of customization and different strap options. Another important thing is the display of your running data on your watch. So obviously with the Garmin watch, you can customize your widgets to show exactly what information you want to see during your run. So for me, I have my pace, my cadence, my distance, and my time on the run, which is all important to me. Also, you can put your heart rate on there to see how fast, or slow you should be going. So for the Apple Watch, you're able to just see what's on the apps that you're using. So if you're using the Strava apps to record your run, or the Nike Run Club to record your run, you're only able to see what the apps are telling you. So there might be some disparities when you try to upload your data over to Strava or any other running app that you use. So my verdict is, if you want a watch that's good at doing everything besides sports and tracking, then the Apple Watch would be definitely good for you. If you want a watch that's dedicated to sports and fitness and that'll tell you more data than you'll ever need to know, then the Garmin watch would be for you. So another thing to keep in mind, that when I had the Apple Watch, I was always conscious not to damage it or hit it somewhere, because it's such an expensive item and it's prone to chips or scratches. So with the Garmin watch, when I put it on, I don't really care what happens to it. So that's a peace of mind also when I'm having a Garmin instead of an Apple Watch. Not to say that the Garmin is lower quality or anything. And it was also nice not having to pay that extra money for a data plan for a watch that I hardly ever use the features for, since I had my phone the majority of the time. Obviously everything looks better on the phone compared to a tiny screen on the watch. So that was another plus, saving some money. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope these tips and information helps you on deciding which watch is best for you. And if you like the video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. And hopefully you guys stay safe out there and practice social distancing. And I will see you guys on the next run.